Nigeria's position is really that we have to take all the measures necessary and possible to stop that and check that.
On the news tonight, President Buhari advocates greater support from the European Union towards political stability in Africa.
WHO will work with the companies and the government in each country to develop a roadmap for training and production.
COVID-19 vaccine production, World Health Organization picks Nigeria and seeks orders for transfer of technology.
It's a capacity building workshop for NI Servicom, Actifocal and DEX officers, which was
also tonight,
deliberately designed to sharpen skills.
Also tonight, Nigeria Immigration Service unveils charter for enhanced service delivery. Hello and welcome. This is NTA Network News. We are live in Abuja. I am Jummai Yusuf. Adiola Kami Akere joins me from Lagos and Kemi Oshin will be joining me from Ibadan. Thank you so much for joining us. Let's get the news. You can follow this broadcast live on our website www.nta.ng/live, on your YouTube channel NTA News Online, or visit Twitter at NTA News Now, Facebook NTA Network News, and Instagram NTA Network for updates. Now, Nigeria is seeking stronger support from the European Union towards stopping the rising trend of political instability in Africa, as well as strengthening advocacy for democratic rule. This was at a roundtable on peace, security and governance, where the country insists on weighty sanctions against nation-states that engage in unconstitutional change of governments, as well as those that manipulate their constitutions to extend political term limits. State House correspondent Adam Osombo reports.
Ensuring lasting peace and security on the continent of Africa was the focus of the roundtable. President Muhammadu Buhari, who participated at the discussions held in a closed session, said for many decades Africa has been deprived of political stability and socio-economic development due to terrorism and violent extremism. More worrisome, he however said, is the current state of democracy characterized by increasing cases of unconstitutional change of governments across the continent, particularly in West Africa.
There's been some backsliding in the area of democracy. We've seen a number of coups d'etat in the sub-region. And, so Nigeria's position is really that we have to take all the measures necessary and possible to stop that and check that. And but within the framework of the ECOWAS, that if there are these unconstitutional changes of government, that sanctions will kick in. And so to make those sanctions really effective, we're also looking at the UN and the European Union also helping to enforce and implement those sanctions so that they really will be effective.
Making a case for free, fair, credible and transparent elections as crucial elements in promoting constitutional order and democracy, Nigeria is also of the view that root causes of conflicts be tackled and measures taken towards safeguarding peace and security, as well as promoting illicit financial flows.
Mr. President also has identified things like restitution of stolen loot from a lot of these countries, which are domiciled in European countries, for instance, getting them back, because those are resources that can help in the development of our countries. The issue of tenure elongation and changing of constitution to extend term limits are anti-democratic moves in themselves that also give a pretext to those who want to, unconstitutionally change the government.
Other participants harped on the need for increased EU support for African peace operations by way of strengthening practical cooperation, strategic AU European Union engagement and joint decision-making on all aspects of security, enhancing the rule of law and promoting human rights. From Brussels, Belgium, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
Czech Republic is seeking a more robust partnership with Nigeria as the country prepares to assume the presidency of the European Union. This was when President Milo Zeman visited the Nigerian leader on the margins of the EU-African Union Summit in Brussels, Denmark. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports that the president also engaged G4 members to evolve strategies for a peaceful and prosperous Africa.
President Miloš Zeman of Czech Republic, who reaffirmed his country's trust and confidence in Nigeria and its leadership, is seeking the revitalization of the joint commission mechanism between the two countries in order to enhance qualitative relationship in critical economic sectors.
They are going to be taking over the presidency of the European Union from France in July. So they wanted to engage with Nigeria, make contact with Nigeria to also hear from us our expectations and whatever asks, demands we might have, and for them to be able to see what they can do to mobilize support in that direction within the European Union. They talked about in the area of security. The Czech Republic has a number of very sophisticated and weaponry and well regarded in that area. So there's a possibility of increasing the cooperation in the military field.
During the closed-door engagement, a formal invitation was issued to President Muhammadu Buhari to visit Prague with a large contingent of Nigerian business community towards increasing the level of trade between Nigeria and Czech Republic. Meanwhile, President Muhammadu Buhari and his counterparts from Ethiopia, South Africa and Algeria, under the auspices of the G4, have resolved to strengthen the platform for the resolution of the various issues confronting the African continent. The G4 platform, an initiative of the Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed, was set up to discuss preferred solutions and aggregate measures towards ensuring that the African Union carries its work forward successfully, efficiently and quickly too.
The vision is to have 4 of the biggest countries on the continent: South Africa, Ethiopia, Algeria and Nigeria come together and be a motor coordinating action and reaction for the whole continent, So the feeling is that the coordination amongst African countries at the moment is not really what it should be, that there should be a lot more proactivity.
The leaders agreed to convene a formal summit to chart a roadmap for Africa in the coming months. From Brussels, Belgium, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
Now, Nigeria has been selected as one of the 6 African countries to host the mRNA vaccine technology transfer hub. This is to scale up the production and access to vaccines for COVID-19 and other diseases in the low and middle-income countries. Director General of the World Health Organization, Dr. Tedros Ghebreyesus, announced this at a joint media briefing on the margins of the EU-African Union Summit in Brussels, Belgium. Again, State House correspondent Adamu Sambo tells us more.
Records obtained from the World Health Organization shows that more than 80% of the population of Africa is yet to receive a single dose of the COVID-19 vaccines. Much of the inequity has been driven by the fact that globally, vaccine production is concentrated in a few mostly high-income countries. This forum, convened by the World Health Organization and the European Union, is to demonstrate support for the urgent need to increase local production of vaccines, especially in low and middle-income countries. Consequently, apart from Nigeria, other African countries to benefit from this strategic investment are Egypt, Kenya, Senegal, Tunisia and South Africa.
WHO will work with the companies and the government in each country to develop a roadmap for training and production based on their needs and capacities.
You can count on the European Union to expand its way of working, to expand its capacity so that Africa can be a continent that develops strategic production capacities in healthcare, in vaccines.
Completely a new approach towards an attitude where the sovereignty of science is protected while Africa has full access and full ownership. This is so important, of the technology and then the goods that come from that. The goal is really to make sure that the technology is transferred and dismantled and shown in full scope, led by Africa and owned by Africa, with the support of Team Europe.
The European Union, supported by France, Belgium and Germany, is investing 40 million euros to the project, described as a major step forward in addressing health emergencies, expanding access to health products and strengthening regional health security.
We need to have optimum cooperation so that we can develop the manufacturing sites and even transfer the most confidential information so that you can produce as quickly as possible. We want to ensure that intellectual property is not something which stands in the way of innovation.
President Muhammadu Buhari and leaders of other benefiting African countries were highly elated over the technology transfer program, which they say demonstrates the power of partnership to change the trajectory of Africa's health security for the better.
Nigeria is very grateful. COVID-19 has been more or less considerate on Nigeria. The figures that show are quite low for those infected. And we express our gratitude to the President of France, especially, for giving us a lot of the COVID vaccines, which we try very hard to make sure that the rural areas that are far and wide are reached. And we are very pleased that the amount of work being done is quite satisfactory.
Leaders of the benefiting countries are optimistic that if successfully implemented, the technology transfer program will set the continent on a sustainable path of self-sufficiency in terms of vaccine supply. From Brussels, Belgium, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
And joining me via Zoom to discuss on the World Health Organization's inclusion of Nigeria among 6 African countries is Dr. Obi Adigwe. He's the DG National Institute for Pharmaceutical Research and Development, NIPRID. You're welcome to Network News.
Thank you, Jumae.
And congratulations to Nigeria on that.
Yes, absolutely. I think it's a significant milestone for Nigeria. Scientists, policymakers, and senior government officials have been working very hard behind the scenes for upwards of 18 months to ensure that when this sort of news begins to come to Africa, Nigeria's position as having some of the highest capacities in terms of emerging as a hub for not just vaccines, but the entire pharmaceutical manufacturing entity and supply on the continent is realized. And I'm really glad that out of the 6 countries selected, 2 from North Africa, 2 from West Africa, 1 from East Africa, and 1 from Southern Africa, Nigeria's position and its capacity has been recognized.
And your institute is saddled with the mandate of driving local production of vaccine. And if I can recall correctly, NIPRID received a federal government grant for that.
Well, yes, NIPRID received a significant amount of inflow in the economic management plan that was put together by the government when COVID hit. That particular capacity was to take care of the entire R&D spectrum. And based on that, we were able to bring in a significant amount of new equipment. We purchased upwards of 100 new pieces of equipment. We're able to train over 1,000 traditional medicine practitioners. We're able to upgrade some of the infrastructure from previously dilapidated to near world class currently, and it has actually added value to what the Institute is bringing to the fore. So it's not just for its competencies in vaccines, R&D, but R&D as reflects in the entire pharmaceutical value chain. And we've already started seeing the results. I'm sure you were aware that several ministers and National Assembly members have paid on-site visits to the institutes, and the products that we have begun to bring out to the market have been put up for display.
So what do you expect following this positive outcome from the European African Union Summit?
Well, the clue is in what Minister Onyama mentioned earlier on. There needs to be more proactivity amongst African leaders, African scientists, and African policymakers. Before COVID came on board, for close to a decade now, we've been talking about medicine security and the need for Africans to take our own healthcare interventions in our own hands. And you've seen that when our president and a few other presidents in the country, people like Cyril Ramaphosa of South Africa and one or two others on the continent began to sing the same song, the Europeans and the Asians began to listen. And the paradigm has started shifting from let us manufacture in Europe, in Asia, and in North America and give to the Africans, to a situation where you heard the EU top officials there saying that there is now better appetite to enable Africans manufacture their own medicines. This particular announcement is a battle won, but I'm afraid it's not the war that is being won, because there is still a lot of work that needs to be done. Several key areas which I can highlight here that stakeholders need to make note of is the first one, increased proactivity among stakeholders on the continent. Second one, a more intrepid approach in terms of procurement policy making. And the third one is the fact that scientists, policymakers, and top government officials need to be more intrepid when it comes to undertaking contextual policies that will favor Africans.
Well, a lot needs to be done, but one step at a time. Thank you so much, Dr. Obi Odigwe. He's a DG, National Institute of Pharmaceutical Research and Development, NIPRIT. Thank you so much for your input.
Thank you, Jume, and glad to use the platform to tell Nigerians what we're doing in the area. Have a good day.
Exactly. We'll pause for some messages. The news continues shortly. Don't go away. Thanks for joining us. You can follow this news broadcast live on our website, www.nta.ng/live, on your YouTube channel, NTA News Online, or visit Twitter at NTA News Now, Facebook, Network News, Instagram, NTA Network for updates. First Lady of Nigeria, Aisha Buhari, is to partner with a Dubai-based international non-governmental organization towards fighting the stigma of infertility in Nigeria to ensure every woman lives a happy family life. This is coming when the First Lady met with the Chief Executive Officer of the Merck Foundation, Dr. Rashad Kelech, in Dubai, United Arab Emirates. State House correspondent Aliu Kabir reports.
As part of our advocacy towards ensuring a secured future for Nigerian women, youth and children, the First Lady has taken a bold step to engage the commitment of the Chief Executive Officer of Merck Foundation in Dubai. Issues brought to the fore include the desire to strengthen the campaign on girl-child education, the effect of early marriage, especially of a girl child, healthcare service delivery, entertainment, as well as women empowerment through various skills acquisition programs. They also discussed extensively on the need to intensify a campaign on the women suffering from infertility.
Considering the film we have watched, a short clip we have watched in Ghana some years back, where a lady's hand was cut off because she couldn't have a child for the man. So this type of things in Africa need to be stopped, and your foundation is doing all it could, to stop it. And we are assuring you of our support?
We have highlighted a lot of researchers, female researchers from Nigeria, that they won also the Merck Foundation Africa Research Award, which we are launching since 2016.
The wives of the Nigerian governors used the occasion to felicitate with the First Lady of Nigeria on the occasion of her 51st birthday. The president of the Africa First Ladies Peace Mission had earlier met with the delegation of the Dubai Youth Council.
For a society to move forward, we need to have youths that are trained on different skills and also develop their morals.
We want you to consider your partnership with the UAE as a GCC partnership. And we will look at our partnership with Nigeria as our partnership with Africa.
Yes.
Because we will hope that we can reach out to more youth through Nigeria.
The First Lady is optimistic that the meeting will go a long way towards promoting the bilateral relations between Nigeria and the United Arab Emirates, especially on education and youth empowerment. In Dubai, Aliu Kabir, NTA News.
Meanwhile, First Lady of Nigeria, through the Future Assured program under the Aisha Buhari Foundation, is to partner with a Dubai-based digital school to establish comprehensive digital academy in Nigeria for the benefits of the less privileged, especially women, children and other vulnerable groups. This came to light when the First Lady visited Dubai Digital School in the United Arab Emirates, which is the initiative of Mohammed Rashid Al Maktoum Global Initiative. Again, State House correspondent Ali Kabir tells us more.
In furtherance of our mission to the United Arab Emirates, the First Lady of Nigeria led members of our delegation to the Dubai Digital School, which is the idea of Mohammed Rashid Al Maktoum. The First Lady intimated the officials of the foundation of her engagements in Nigeria, especially her effort of engaging the school dropout amongst the Nigerian youth, particularly girls, with optimism of restoring hope of achieving their ambition for having a brighter future. The idea is to engage in a partnership with the foundation to establish digital schools across the 36 states of the Federation under the auspices of the Aisha Buhari Foundation in collaboration with the pet projects of the wives of the state governors. The First Lady informed the gathering that the program will also cover children with special needs.
Future Assured has been working on education empowerment on youths. We normally deal with the dropouts, those that did not finish the secondary school or they have completed their secondary school with unsatisfactory result. So we normally give them like 3 months tutorials, to brush them up, and then before writing their final exams. We had 2 sessions of it, and the first one, the success was like 45%, and the second one, the success was 94% recently. Out of 600, I think we got like 560 something or so, or 70 something that really made it to the university. And we're hoping to do more.
The officials of the Dubai Digital School reaffirmed their readiness to partner with the Aisha Buhari Foundation towards achieving targets.
Which is one of MBRGI initiatives, and we thank Dr. Manal for facilitating this. She talked a lot about your excellencies and the great support you have there. And she was telling me, you need to start working in Nigeria and engaging with the people there. There is great support in this regard. After this short presentation, we'll take you in a tour to the robotics lab, which is behind you, here where UAE government is doing innovation in robotics and how it will help develop multiple sectors in UAE, and a quick tour into Area 2071.
All the necessary arrangements are on top gear for the commencement of the program. In Dubai, United Arab Emirates, Aliu Kabir, NTA News.
Now let's bring you up to speed with other news making the rounds. And towards harnessing information technology for employment generation, the federal government has established the National Information and Technology Center in Katsina to achieve the objectives. Inaugurating the center, Minister of Communication and Digital Economy, Professor Isa Ali Fantami, said the initiative is part of the present administration's policy on digital economy for sustainable development. Mohammed Sani reports.
To make it beneficial to Katsina State, to Nigeria, and to humanity.
The Information Technology Development Center is fully equipped with ICT facilities for virtual learning and research, among the youth to promote ICT-driven economy in line with the federal government policy on digital economy. Minister of Communication and Digital Economy, Professor Isa Alipantami, said the center is provided to serve as ICT hub to accord Nigerian youth the opportunity to acquire the prerequisite skills that would make them employer of labor rather than job seekers.
A center like this, it will represent the federal government on one hand and the state on the other to discover what our ICT youth need.
The minister explained that the center is also expected to enhance the capacity of institutions of higher learning in design and development of computer software programs.
If you link the incubation center with the innovation center with the institute, you will be surprised what you will be producing.
Similar information technology development centers were established across the 6 geopolitical zones of the country to promote digital literacy in Nigeria. Mohammed Sani, NTA News.
Borno State government has flagged off 100 million naira economic empowerment for 200 youths who completed entrepreneurship training in various trades of their choice. Governor Babagana Umara Zulum flagged off the program at Ramat Polytechnic in Maiduguri, the Borno State capital. Mohammed Ibrahim reports.
This was the jubilation by 200 Borno youth vanguards when they received alert ranging from 500,000 to 2 million naira, courtesy of Borno State government after undergoing 1-month training in various enterprises. Governor Babagana Umar Zulum had, while inaugurating the empowerment program for the youth, said that they have bid farewell to political thuggery in Borno State. He disclosed that the beneficiaries were carefully selected from Maiduguri Metropolitan Council and neighboring Jere local government area to make them useful to themselves and the society.
This is deliberate investment in our virgin youth sites to invest in them as part of social protection and empowerment support by giving them training and capital to make them productive citizens.
He also warned that the ban on political thuggery is still in force. Borno State Commissioner of Youth, Sport and Empowerment, Abuja, explained that the youths have received training on various trades of their choice, which include animal rearing, cow fattening, poultry production, fish farming and general merchandise to keep them away from begging money from public office holders and disturbing public peace. 16 out of the entrepreneurship graduates received 2 million naira each, while 150 got 500,000 naira each. In Maiduguri, Muhammad Ibrahim, NTA News.
The Northern Governors Forum has felicitated with the First Lady of Nigeria, Aisha Buhari, as she marks her 51st birthday. Chairman of the Forum and Governor of Plateau State, Simon Bakola Long, in a congratulatory message, said the Forum rejoices with the mother of the nation on the special day as it calls for special recognition of her efforts to impact the lives of Nigerians, particularly women and children. Lalong said the First Lady has over the years remained consistent and committed in initiating various programs that helps the most vulnerable persons in the society. He said her pet project, the Future Assured program, has done a lot in improving women and youths in all parts of the country, as well as carried out humanitarian interventions to victims of crisis and other natural disasters. Governor Lalong also praised the First Lady for giving support to the Northern Governors Forum in addressing the Almajiri phenomenon, disease and humanitarian needs of IDPs across the region and the nation at large. Time now to join Lagos, and Adiola will be our guide. Hello, Adiola.
Hello, Jumai. Motorists can now heave a sigh of relief as long queues of vehicles that were seen at most fuel stations in the last couple of weeks have started to disappear, following assurances from the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited on the availability of the product. Abolade Salami reports that transportation fare has also reduced.
The hardship experienced by Lagosians in the last couple of weeks to buy petrol is beginning to ease off as most fuel stations now record less queues of vehicles in search of the products. The look on Musa Abubakar's face after buying petrol in less than 10 minutes is a clear indication that life is returning to normal and the long queue is now giving way.
The first situation is getting better, The queue is not much anymore. Yeah.
How long have you been in the queue now?
I'm just coming right now. This This is like 5 cars before I will go inside now. So queue is okay. It's okay.
It's getting normal, getting better.
Compared to how it was?
Compared, yeah. Other days I stay here 2-3 hours. So I'm looking forward for the queue to completely go away. We don't need it.
While the situation is becoming normal at some filling stations in the metropolis, some Lagosians are appealing to concerned authorities to find a lasting solution to the problem of fuel scarcity in order to prevent a reoccurrence.
We have enough fuel. Why are we still queuing every day? Mostly, I get to most of those filling stations. I see tanker discharges fuel every day, but to still get the fuel is an issue, honestly.
Meanwhile, for the period the scarcity of fuel lasted, it was observed that most petrol stations dispensed the products at the approved pump price of 162 naira per litre. In Lagos, Abolade Salami, NTA News.
When the 21-story high-rise building under construction on Gerald Road, Ikoyi, collapsed on November 1, 2021, it left 2 other 15-story uncompleted buildings still standing. Acting on the recommendations of a panel of inquiry set up to investigate the incident, the Lagos State government, in a white paper, resolved to demolish the 2 uncompleted buildings. Adeniyi Taiwo reports.
Humanity lost quite a lot to this project, and that's why even after close to about 4 months since the 21-story building collapsed, attention is still riveted on it. A Lagos State government white paper on Toyin Ayinde-led panel of inquiries report is already out, and 26 out of 28 recommendations in that report have been accepted by the Lagos State government. One of the recommendations is basically about the fate of these 2 buildings still standing, as it has been recommended that it be pulled down and the developer be prosecuted. A lot of Nigerians that I've spoken to here today tend to agree with the position of the state government.
Once an integrity test is conducted and it reveals that it cannot stand on its own, then it needs to go down. If not so, that same tragedy that happened some time ago, it will repeat itself.
A lot of money has been put into this project, but I think we should look at the safeties, more of the safety in this, not the money aspects.
No, if they did not pull down the building and they finish the work, no one will stay here. Right? Because of damages, nobody knows if we collapse when they pack in, like what happened of recent.
Having listened to Nigerians, let's get the take of an expert on all this.
To reach that conclusion shows that those buildings there lack the capacity to withstand certain forces of nature that will eventually, within its life cycle, act on it.
As government takes position on this building and its fate is now known, the question on many lips among residents of Ikoyi here is that when will it be pulled down, and safely too?
They will do it in such a way to prevent unacceptable level of vibration within that environment. And they've done it in the past, so that will not be an issue.
Not less than 44 people, including the owner of the project, Femi Oshibono, died in the tragic incident. In Lagos, Adeniyi Taiwo, NTA News.
So much from here, but let's remind you that you can follow this news broadcast live on our website at nta.ng/live, on YouTube at NTA News Online. You can also visit our Facebook page at NTA Network News, Twitter at NTA News Now, and on Instagram at NTA Network for updates. We'll take another break and the news will continue with Juma in Abuja when we return. To stay with us. It's good to know you're still there. The Federal Road Safety Corps is collaborating with Savicom in creating awareness for better road safety culture of motorists in the country through the National Traffic Radio of the Corps. Oyeyemi Ajayi reports.
Event in 1998.
On the 15th of June 2021, the National Traffic Radio 107.1 FM, belonging to the Federal Safety Corps, was inaugurated by the Vice President Yemi Osinbajo. The radio station was created for road safety awareness to motorists, giving tips on safety precautions amongst others. This collaboration between the Federal Road Safety Corps and Savicom is to create more awareness on the need for Nigerians to be informed in order to curb avoidable road accidents.
People should imbibe the ideals of enhanced road safety and drive properly. You fasten your seatbelt, you don't use phone while driving, you don't take one way. We continue to promote this until we get to the satisfactory level. And it's only Savicom that can measure this, the level of service delivery when they carry out independent assessment.
We're taking this message out to the public such that as people drive, as people are around, we have increased listenership, we have increased followership, we have enhanced awareness raising.
With plans of making the awareness drive a continuous exercise, the Corps says it will always engage all necessary means of ensuring sanity and safety of lives and property on roads, and that includes the radio station which broadcasts in 5 major languages in the country. In Abuja, Oyeyemi Ajayi, NTA News.
Ibadan is next and Kemi is standing by. Hello, Kemi.
Hello, Jume, and a warm welcome to Ibadan. The federal government is committed to rehabilitating and constructing new roads within Oyo State. Controller of Works Federal Road Maintenance Agency, FEMA, Oyo State, Kayode Ibrahim, while on inspection of some federal roads within the state. Correspondent Shola Wahid has the details.
The inspection tour took the Controller of Works, Kayode Ibrahim, to roads in Okiogun area of Oyo State, with particular attention to Iseyin, Agua Reshaki Road, as well as Secretary Ibo axis, which are undergoing rehabilitation and new construction works to ease the suffering of motorists.
If you look at what we have done, the road is restored to almost like its initial state by virtue of what government is doing in this part of Oyo State.
The engineers working on the road said repair works on major roads in Oyo State will be completed within the next few months.
I try to tell the government to encourage we indigenous contractors. We are doing our best to the standard.
Yeah, there are some sections there where we have a completely failed section that we had to clarify.
We want to appreciate the federal government concerning the project they are doing right now because we didn't expect it. This is a surprise package for the whole community. I only want to appreciate the government in general.
It's a greenfield project, which is an area where we are building a road.
Prior to intervention of the federal government, some federal roads within Oyo State were dilapidated, causing hardship for commuters and prolonged hours of journeys. In Ibadan, Shola Wahid, NTA News.
The Nigeria Customs Oyo Osun Commander has recorded the collection of over 80 billion naira duties and seizures of contrabands with the duty paid value of over 900 million naira between November 2020 and February 2022. Kayode Oladoshi reports that the controller, Adamu Abdulkadri, is at a briefing on his stewardship in the command.
Controller Adamu Abdulkadri explained that the fight against smuggling in Oyo Osun Command received boost through the support of Controller General of Customs Service, Colonel Ahmed Ibrahim Ali retired, availability of logistics, dedicated officers, and law-abiding citizens.
To attain this level of achievement, we created various task force teams, namely PMS Task Force, Excise Task Force, Operation Fish Out, and Mining Task Force. We have deployed all our strength and available logistics and also State unbearable for economic saboteurs and to ensure success in the battle against those who would like to dare the capability of officers of Oyo and Osun Area Command.
Controller Abdulkadri said between the month of November 2021 and January 2022, the command seized 5,013 kilograms of foreign parboiled rice, 132 second-hand building materials, 2,004 pieces of used tires, 15 by 25 liters keg of foreign vegetable oil, 1 used Lexus Jeep, and 1 used Opel car with duty paid value 127 million naira. He commended the steadfastness of gallant officers of the command and appreciated sister agencies for their support, stressing that Oyo Osun Command of Nigerian Customs Service will continue to do the needful within the ambit of law to continue to wage war against smuggling for sustainable economy. In Ibadan, Kayode Oladoshu, NTA News.
You're still watching Network News on the NTA. More reports after this timeout. Do stay with us.
Thanks for joining us. Waiting long days to access or renew passports home and abroad are gone for good as the Nigerian Immigration Service unveils its service charter as a guide to better service delivery. This was at the roundoff of its 2022 Servicom and Anti-Corruption and Transparency Unit Customer Service Week. Joseph Osen reports.
This reverse corporate service charter is to serve as helpline for officers and men of the Nigerian Immigration Service towards speedy and effective service delivery at all service points across the world. Training of officers and adoption of the customer engagement and feedback system is what major actors here say is key to relegating incompetency, corruption in the service, and enhancing productivity.
It's a capacity building workshop for NI Servicom, Active Focal, and DEX officers, which was deliberately designed to sharpen skills, etiquette, staunchness, and other cross-cutting qualities that will enhance the capacity of our Servicom, Active Focal, and DEX officers to become better ambassadors.
Harmonization of multiple arrival and departure forms into a single form. Deployment of migration information and data analysis system, MIDAS, that was really an important one to enhance visa processing and passenger clearance process.
Streamlined one-stop shop for passport processing. That was a huge success, and that was the starting point of streamlining and being customer sensitive.
Using the reward system as encouragement, some distinguished officers and institutions were presented with awards as the Nigerian Immigration Service round of its Customer Service Week. In Abuja, Joseph Oten, NTA News.
Emulating a life that touches the lives of people will go a long way in creating a bond between man and his creator. This was part of messages at the burial service of former governor of Oyo State, Chief Adebayo Alawa Akala, held at Baptist Conference Ground, Ogbomosho, Oyo State. Lukman Hassan has the details.
Speaking on the life and times of the former governor, Adebayo Alawa Akala, Vice President Professor Yemi Osinbajo noted that his contributions to the development of Ogbomosho, Oyo State and the country had positively touched the lives of many.
The people of Ogbomosho will miss the kindness, the compassion, and the love of this trusted and revered leader.
Oyo State Governor Seyi Makinde, while eulogizing Chief Alawa Akala, he explained that the state government had set up a committee to immortalize him for his unequal contributions to the state.
I want to say farewell, a great man, farewell, a great governor.
Reading from the Bible, President, Nigerian Baptist Convention, charged politicians to always fear God in their dealings. Friends, politicians, and well-wishers said Chief Alawa Akala had lived a fulfilled life. Chief Adebayo Alawa Akala, born on the 3rd of June 1950, died on the 12th of January 2022 and was buried in his Randas residence. Chief Alawa Akala is survived by wives and 7 children. Lukman Hassan, NTA News.
And that's it on the news tonight. Thank you so much for your time. And before we go, don't forget to join NTA in the fight against rape and rapists. I am Jumbai Yusuf.